What's going on, guys? McRaptor here. We are back in Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, and this is a boss guide for the Owl Father boss, which is the second boss fight with Owl in the Return to Hirata Estate. In the video, we're going to go over everything you need to know to beat Owl in both a reliable and effective way. You don't need anything fancy to beat the boss, but it does help to have the firecracker prosthetic tool and damage buffs like Echo Sugar and or Divine Confetti. The most important thing when fighting Owl is to maintain a close position and an aggressive playstyle. If you bring the fight to Owl instead of reacting to him, you're going to have more consistent progress and an easier time getting through this encounter. Immediately when the fight opens up, adopt an attack, deflect, and then counter-attack cycle. In most cases, you can even attack twice in a row to get a good deflect cycle going between you and Owl Father. After you've gone blow for blow with Owl for a bit, he generally uses firecrackers to create space. Deny him this space by sprinting towards him right after he steps back. Again, don't let the boss control you, take the fight to him and make his attacks more predictable and formulaic. While an aggressive strategy with Owl will make the fight a smoother process overall, the corners and pillars in the boss arena do create a challenge. You'll need to learn when to disengage if the environment is blocking the position you need to keep Owl in an attack, deflect, loop. If you get caught in a corner, the best idea is usually to reposition away from the wall. If you're doing it correctly, you'll see very few, if any, of Owl's more difficult combo attacks. If you, however, find yourself at range after a firecracker, be prepared for him to close the gap, which is often with a charging thrust attack that you can easily Makiri counter. You'll occasionally see this long wind-up into an overhead slash that Owl Father will do. It's fairly easy to deflect, although the timing is a little bit slower than you might expect. I recommend staying in front of him to make it a little bit more simple. When he does his spinning two-hit combo, you'll need to deflect both attacks before counterattacking. It's an exception to the general rule of attack, deflect, attack on Owl Father. When he goes into his alternate firecracker combo, where he doesn't jump back, sprint forward and dodge once behind him, either on the right or the left. Then you get several free hits in before he can recover. Remember to stay aggressive in phase 1. When he dashes to the side and comes in for an unblockable slash, interrupt it with a quick counterattack. It's a free and reliable source for vitality damage versus Owl Father. The point of an aggressive style in Sekiro is to manipulate the boss AI and stop the boss from doing what he wants to do. If you're at range or play passively, he has a whole host of tools available to destroy you. His posture bar will also take a very long time to fill, resulting in a much longer fight. Phase 2. The biggest challenge of Phase 2 is closing the gap and bringing an aggressive close playstyle when Owl is busy turning invisible and flying around the arena. The rest of Phase 2 is fairly similar to Phase 1. Your goal is to close the gap during every Owl transition and getting into the predictable attack, deflect, attack loop from Phase 1. Take the opportunity in the Phase 2 transition to rebuff yourself with Echo Sugar and or Divine Confetti. It will speed up your progress. Phase 2 is a good time to make use of firecrackers. Whenever he steps back is a good opportunity to throw one, and it'll give you some extra vitality or posture damage against the boss. Also, a new move in Phase 2 is his shuriken attack after he jumps off you and steps back. Guard or deflect the damage if you can. His flashiest but easiest to counter move in Phase 2 is the Fire Owl attack. When the owl flies to his hand, you'll know he's getting ready. Simply jump over it when it flies towards you and close the gap on Owl Father. When he goes invisible, be sure to run away and use the audio cues to predict where he will come back into human form. Also look for the visual blue owl trail, which gives you a very good idea of where he's going to respawn. This will give you an advantage in closing the gap after the invisibility phase ends, which is very, very important. Continue staying aggressive and focus on closing the gap at every point that you can. Take what you learned in Phase 1 and you should have an easier time defeating the Owl Father. Also, don't be stingy with firecrackers or damage buffs in Phase 2. If you're still learning the overall fight, wait to use these consumables so you don't run out, but once you have the flow of the fight down, use them to your advantage to obtain better control over the fight and quicker phase kills. After all, the longer a fight goes on, the more opportunity you have to make mistakes. If this guide was helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Also, we've got tons of Sekiro Shadows Die Twice guides on the playlist, so check them out. The link is in the video description. Enjoy the rest of the fight, and we will see you next time.